Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader with me, Bring It On. Let's fix this and then we'll speak to Calcazar. Check out the chops on that guy. The Lord Inquisitor is engrossed in studying star system charts and reports, which are amassed on the desk at the ridges of a formidable mountain range. There are shadows beneath his eyes, which are ruthlessly dissecting the latest report, and his skin seems stretched taut over the bones of his skull. Without turning his head to you, Calcazar says warily, "Greetings, your lordship. Your timing is impeccable." Law is summoned. An aged servant with the bearing of a veteran approaches the two of you. In a precise movement, he replaces the untouched cup of cold recaf in front of the Lord Inquisitor with a new one, slightly steaming. The warrior Fenris folds his arms on his ceramite-plated chest regally, and says in a dour voice, "Greetings, Inquisitor. You and I need to talk." Calcazar bows respectfully. "Glory to the Emperor's angels of Fenris. Your words will be heeded, my lord." Heinrich nods silently at Calcazar, who responds by ever so slightly bowing his head. "May the Emperor grant you strength and some time to rest, Lord Inquisitor." The corners of Calcazar's mouth creep upward. In a befittingly grave tone, he replies, "I'd be loath to trouble our master with a prayer for such an indulgence, especially one so utterly inappropriate at this fraught time." Calcazar notices Argenta and inclines his head with a dignified air. "Sister." The Battle Sister's eyes gleam as the Lord Inquisitor addresses her. "May your path be blessed. It is gratifying to see that the trials endured by the Expanse have failed to extinguish the flame of your fortitude." Jai touches the Aquila on her chest, and drops her head in a unnecessarily deep bow. "O Lord Inquisitor, smiting spear of the Imperium, with the gold of faith cutting through the nebulae of the Koronus Expanse." Calcazar raises a hand in warning. "If I were you, Mistress Haidari, I would endeavor not to draw the Inquisition's attention to my person. A Mercatum Tabula Officiale can do many things. Reattaching a head to a body is not one of them." "I escaped from Camorra, where I was held captive by Xenos." The Inquisitor raises an eyebrow, impressed. "You escaped from the Dark City, a feat that few have accomplished. Truly, I congratulate you on an exceptional performance, and I won't even mar your triumph by telling you that the Inquisition will, of course, be watching you very closely henceforth. I sincerely hope that your grand escape was not part of the Xenos' devious machinations." "You wish to speak to the Lord Inquisitor, Ulfar?" "Indeed. You petitioned our aid in fighting Xenos. We spilt much alien blood, but the wind of battle carried me far, and I lost contact with my pack. Do you know where I can seek out my brothers, the Baleful Howl?" "I am afraid not. According to the information in my possession, they withdrew from the battle raging in the Expanse." The Lord Inquisitor's deferential tone now carries a dry edge. "You lie. The Baleful Howl never run from battle." Ulfar's reply to the outrageous claim is surprisingly calm. Only the frosty chill of death born of his voice and carried across the room makes everyone's hair stand on end. "What do you mean by withdrew?" "Contrary to my request to continue hunting the Xenos, they embarked on an expedition whose objective is unknown to me. There has been no word of them since." "Sounds suspicious. This is not how we wolves conduct ourselves." "I can tell you no more. As you well know, your pack preferred not to report their plans and intentions to me. Albeit no match for Ulfar's tongue of ice, the coldness in Calcazar's voice, too, could freeze an entire world." "Why do you think they diverted their attention?" "I presumed it was a search for Brother Ulfar. It is common knowledge how deeply Space Wolves value the ties of brotherhood, far more deeply than the ties that bind them to other subjects of the Emperor. People disappearing in the vicinity of an Inquisitor is always cause for suspicion. If this is some scheme of yours... The Inquisitor dryly interrupts the Allfather's warrior. Dare I remind you that your presence in the Expanse is not a favor to me, but the promised repayment of a debt. I was not so haughty when I returned your lost brother to Fenris. I did not demand recompense for my faithful servants who died saving him. I kept secret those details that could have damaged your honor. Why then does your gratitude taste so poisonous? The mention of Ulfar's lost brother makes him grind his teeth in anger before he falls sullenly silent. Is there any way you can help me find them? Help find them. No, but I believe I know someone who is better informed. Now name that person as soon as we finally start discussing the matter that prompted me to summon your lordship. What is the current situation in the Expanse? The Cult of the Final Dawn and Drukhari raiders are vying with each other to see who can cause us the greatest turmoil. I have mobilized all the forces I can to repel the attacks, which is why we are still alive. Combined militia brigades are hunting for Xenos and guarding convoys, and expeditionary platoons under my command are crushing heretic rebellions. The situation is unstable, but I will not pretend that I was prepared for this crisis. However, we have not lost our footing yet. What has prompted the Drukhari to act so brazenly? Prisoner interrogations indicate that an incident occurred in the Dark City, what the Xenos call a disjunction. Yeah. By sundering reality and causing a disjunction, they let the warp demons invade Komorra. A dimensional calamity that forced them to step up their raids in real space. Their audacity speaks to their desperation, which in turn will translate into new trials for his servants. Why has the Cult of the Final Dawn become more active? The warp is raging. This baleful sign always portends change, and crisis beget desperation, the most fertile ground for heresy. I believe the archenemy's servants think their time has come, or perhaps this day was marked in the profane scripture as the date of the end of existence. I will not trouble myself with further attempts to make sense of their blasphemous doctrine. They are bent on destroying us all, and so they must be destroyed. What makes you think you're capable of commanding the whole sector? Do you see a better candidate for the job? The Lord Inquisitor closes his eyes warily for a moment. I may no longer be in the first flush of youth, but believe me when I say that there are many things I'd much rather be doing than playing constable to the Koronus Expanse. But alas, every ruler in our sector chooses to confine their concern to the well-being of their own holdings, whereas I alone must take care of all. You mobilized all forces, but not House von Valancius. Are you not standing before me now? While your status remained unclear, I preferred not to requisition the resources of the von Valancius Protectorate. Your people dealt with Urlon the Cruel's agents and with Xenos raids, and that was enough for me. But now's the time to add your might and talents to the scales. But you must have an ingenious plan to save the Expanse. The glance tossed at you is like a shot from an auto pistol at point-blank range. If such a plan were to exist, information about it would be of the utmost secrecy. I suggest you focus on the current strategy of putting out each fire as you encounter it. I understand. I see no need to get bogged down in the details. To apprise you of all the information I currently possess would require more time than we have. What was the dispute between you and Caligos Winterscale about? Whoops, clicked on the wrong thing. Are you aware of the changes Incendia has wrought in Footfall? Naturally. Her ladyship has done me an invaluable service by taking on the task of instilling order on the station. Though her style of leadership seems unnecessarily brutal to me, on the whole, her actions have not exceeded the bounds I set. Seems like a redundant question, he explained it right here. If you think she is unnecessarily brutal, why have you not intervened? Firstly, I entrusted the task to her ladyship, and she is executing it competently. And secondly, Donald, are you unaware of what I am striving to do here? At present, I'm trying to prevent the deaths of billions, yet you ask me why I'm choosing not to save hundreds. I helped Incendia to force a station into submission. I am pleased to see that rogue traders can indeed work together. This serves as proof that you are a worthy candidate for the mission that I am about to give you. What was the dispute between you and Caligos Winterscale about? His lordship deemed it more important to show off his stubbornness than to safeguard the interests of the Expanse. Stupidity of the most burdensome kind. But my sources inform me that he nevertheless has joined my efforts against the Xenos, and so I've decided to stay any sanctions for a time. Why do you think he acted that way? His lordship has long displayed a susceptibility to corrupting ideas. His loss of interest in managing his protectorate and his appetite for violence drew my notice some time ago. After a moment's hesitation, Calcazar adds, "The only question that remains unanswered is how many agents of the archenemy have infiltrated his entourage. I believe at least one, with Wharton the Grey. Did you even try to discuss it with him, or did you immediately set Incendia on him?" The Inquisitor's jaw hardens. Despite the impression I may have created, I'm not a schoolmaster obliged to rein in misbehaving rogue traders. Caligos rejected the call to fulfill his duty to the Emperor. What discussion was there to be had? I see. Rest assured that his lordship will face the consequences of his actions. What help do you want from me? Brochure, if you please. The Inquisitor nods imperiously at the servant, who draws some kind of remote control from his pocket. All sounds whose sources are more than 3 meters away fade to nothing. To my chagrin, the ability to be in 2 places at once does not number among my talents. That is why I wish for you to serve in my stead. I place such trust in very few people, you understand. You feel what it is to walk in my shoes, and attempt to compel a gaggle of quarrelsome blockheads to work together. You will reconquer Euphrates II for me. The Inquisitor gestures to the servant, and the silencing field disperses. Brochure, another recaf. This one has gone cold. Abelard stifles a groan of displeasure, his mutter pitched for your ears only. You will reconquer Euphrates II for me. The esteemed Lord Inquisitor has done away with all pretense and politeness now. His orders no longer come with even the veneer of a request. Point at the servant. Is he your valet, or another Inquisition assassin? Why can't both be true? Brochure has been a member of my retinue for 50 Terran years, and the person in my entourage who comes closest to being my confidant. Something akin to a warm smile touches the Inquisitor's lips. We've had cause to be involved in many incidents whose reports have since been marked with a seal of silence. Brochure nods deferentially, and on his aged, jowled face appears an expression caught between eternal loyalty, motherly affection, and religious devotion. To what do I owe such an honor? To whom else could I entrust this mission? No need to feign ignorance, Von Valancius. We both know the shortcomings of the other candidates for this position. At present in the Expanse, there are 2 people with this perspective and steady hand required to control this situation, and they are both standing in this room. So, if you will, dispense with the humble rogue trader act and win this war for me. I like that line. Can you tell me more about Euphrates II? A sacred world of the Adeptus Mechanicus, off limits to laypeople. I'm one of the few people who do not worship the Omnissiah to have set foot on its surface. Or rather, I was. Now it is crawling with unbelievers. The despicable word-bearers attacked and captured Euphrates II, and the cult of the Final Dawn brought an entire horde of heretics to the planet. I sent my troops to aid the Explorer forces laying siege to the world, but a rift occurred among the commanders. They need an authoritative general, and you are perfect for the role. My confidence is not misplaced, I trust. What matter first brought you to Euphrates II, out of interest? An utterly transparent attempt to learn secret intelligence. Offered to make you my general. He tried to pump me for information. Poorly done. The word bearers went there themselves. They didn't just send in their puppets. Clearly, the stakes for them are high enough. Erlon the Cruel has stirred his profane self to make a personal appearance in Euphrates II. Conrad Voigtveer, incidentally, is also there. Yeah, there. I hear you two have unfinished business. Him I will generously leave to you. When you're finished with him, you may simply dispose of his mortal remains. No need to surrender them to the Inquisition for an inquest. Consider it my gift. What do they want with Euphrates II? The reasons behind their machinations would be pure speculation at this point. Bring me prisoners to interrogate, and perhaps we will gain some much-needed insight. Now, what forces do we have in place, and what is this rift that occurred between the commanders? Explorer Fleet Divine Cognizance 7821 recalled its most combat-ready units to retake the world. They were supported by my most powerful strike fleet and a group of deadlier allies. I dispatched a pack of space wolves to hunt down the transgressors. Excuse me. Starting to fall apart over here. Unfortunately, the leaders have failed to find a common language. The esteemed Thorvald is at odds with the conclave of the Mechanicus' battle congregation. The Omnissiah's servants find Thorvald's strident nature off-putting. And neither group is fond of militant Sibilek, who commands my forces. We're not fond to be precise. The esteemed militant perished along with his ship a week ago when his noble allies failed to support his offensive. The Inquisitor bows to Ulfar curtly. I recommend that you too go to Euphrates II, my lord. Perhaps your pack was less reticent with the esteemed Thorvald than with me, and told him where they decided to direct their efforts. It is a fine suggestion, which I accept gratefully, Inquisitor. The expression of respect on Ulfar's face does a poor job of hiding his antipathy. How did you manage to enlist the aid of Angels of the Emperor? I must remind you that I am still Lord Inquisitor of the Koronus Expanse, and not merely some, what do you always say, Frosier? Some Grox bothering prick. It's like bothering. If certain rogue traders at times allow themselves to speak to me in an overly willful manner, that should not give you cause to doubt my authority. The situation is clear. You'll be given the details when you arrive in orbit around Euphrates II. I will smash the heretics. I never doubted you, your lordship. The Emperor protects. Calcazar nods at the paper that his servant has deferentially delivered to the table. This document attests to the extraordinary powers you now have at your disposal. I am counting on your success, Donald. I beg your pardon. There are many other matters requiring my attention. I wish the best of success to your lordship. Well, I suppose we could begin the journey to Euphrates II. By the order of the Lord Inquisitor of the Holy Order Xenos, the Legion's palace is presently closed to outsiders. Read that before.
I always keep my options open. I always have a backup plan.
Lord Captain reporting. Shortly before our departure from Footfall, a group of messengers in luxurious garbs delivered a strongbox and several chests bearing the insignia of House Orselio to the ship. I suppose the use of gold-clad servants instead of servitors was an extravagant attempt by the Navigators to draw the attention to the rogue trader. Considering the incident in the capital world, the Enforcer officers checked the Navis Nobilite gifts thrice. I'm pleased to report that none of them threaten your Lady Cassia's or the crew's well-being. Having said that, a closer examination of the strongbox by the tech adepts revealed a data slate, with the vid message addressed personally to you alongside some kind of encrypted data. We dare not touch them without your instructions. What vid message? Show me. As you command, Lord Captain. Victus issues several orders, and the vid screen of your personal cogitator springs to life. The machine enters rumbling unhappily. Rogue Trader. A familiar piercing voice comes from the cogitator's vox system. You see a bloated face with sagging skin and a gaping hole where the nose should be. We, Great Regent Aranto Orselio, send greetings and hope this message finds you in good health. House Orselio will soon hold a grand council within the Palace of Atlas, the holy relic that connects all navigators of our house. This meeting will take place not in the physical world, but in the world of thoughts, dreams, and visions. It is the only way to avoid bloodshed and decide the fate of the sacred child at last. Thanks to the Atlas, we feel that the soul of the child is full of dismay, and yet the rogue trader's words bear a lot of weight with the child, so he may soothe its anxiety and lead the child down the right path. The path of accepting its duty before the house, and ascending the Novator's throne. I hope you consider my offer, Donald von Valancius, for it is in your power to not only strengthen the bond between our dynasties, but multiply your riches at the same time. The gifts accompanying this message are but an insignificant part of the Great Regent's gratitude. May the God Emperor protect us all. The vid screen shuts down and the Voxmaster breaks the silence. I am told the message has been relayed to your cogitator, Lord Captain. I hope the data did not get corrupted during playback or delivery. I decode the encryption hidden in the data slate. Yes, Lord Captain. Victus falls silent, and the box transmission fills with scratchings of a cogita quill and rustling of papers. A messenger servo skull has been sent to the Omnissiah servant's compartment. Once the data have been decrypted, I'll notify you immediately. This will be all for now. The God Emperor protects, Lord Captain. Lord Captain, an urgent report from the servants of the Omnissiah. They managed to locate a second message on the House Orselio data slate, hidden in the shadow of the first one. As soon as it happened, the machine spirit rebelled and started devouring the decrypted data. The acolytes of the cult Mechanicus are performing their rites to appease it and slow down the process of annihilation. What should we do? Display the message on the screen right now. The comm beat echoes with the furious clicking of Victus's augmented fingers. A few moments later, the vid screen of your cogitator shows the recording through a wall of static. A rogue trader, you hardly know me, but I am well informed of your deeds. A well-built young man adjusts his silk headband embellished with a symbol of the Navis Nobilite. My name is irrelevant, for as long as the cursed child continues to live and breathe, no one in House Orselio is safe. I know what Master Felix and Lady Elena Heteria had to do at Urok 5 and in your palace. I understand your anger. House Orselio deeply apologizes for these incidents. The Navigator tiredly closes his eyes. I presume you already know that House Orselio will be holding a grand council in the depths of that accursed Atlas very soon, and we cannot ignore the call. We're bound to it against our will. I'm also aware that you enjoy great influence over the cursed child. Convince her to reject the Atlas. Break the centuries-old shackles binding our house. Crush Tisiphone's tyranny under her foot. Or simply kill her. I do not care. I'm not going to lie. We're unlikely to become good friends. And House Orselio values true allies like no other. The true House Orselio, that is. Not these lunatic zealots of the Regent. To show you that my offer is not in vain, I'll be the first to extend my hand in gesture of goodwill. A gratuitous gift to the Von Valances dynasty. You'll find it among the stars of Martinius, or Martianus. Emerald clutch in the storm's embrace. Head left, right, and twice forward. Then something else. Should I write this down? I'll write it down. The video recording cuts short, and you hear the Voxmaster's voice in your comm-bead. I am very sorry, Lord Captain. The servants of the Omnissiah could no longer restrain the machine spirit's hunger. I hope you're able to see the vid message through to the end. I was not. Alright, good. We get to see some action before we wrap up the episode.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Your heresy ends here. For the Emperor!
On it.
None can do this better than a warrior of the All-Father! See how I will carve runes out of your bones! The wolf is on the hunt, so it shall be.
I'm ready for whatever comes.
Whoops, forgot about Jai. That's okay. I know I hide behind barrels a lot, and it's probably, in general, a bad idea. But we don't take a lot of damage anyway. So I won't fret about it.
Don't get too cocky.
Doubt is for the weak. Faith without deeds is... In thy light I stand, and thy light I crave. None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
Wanna see a trick?
Naturally. Everyone, step aside.
for the throne's glory. Let's see to it. But of course,
that was a pretty good turn.
Each strike is a prayer. I'll do it.
I'm not sure how the elevation is going to work here.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
I guess like that.
Feel the icy bite! Corpse die in disgrace! My instincts tell me to refuse. I will carve runes out of your bones. By claw and fang, the foe will be torn asunder!
There we go. Good job, Ulfar. I really don't think Steam should injure him when he's in power armor like that, but maybe it's warp corrupted Steam. Alright, Slayer's Delight. Whenever the wearer performs a single target attack with a two-handed melee weapon that attack deals damage. Extra damage based off your strength. It's pretty solid. And 3 Dreadmonger Grenades. All creatures in a 3x3 zone must pass a willpower resistance test or immediately move out of the zone, even if they are stunned or immobilized. This movement triggers attacks of opportunity from the Navigator's allies that have passed a resistance test or that are outside of the zone. Seems pretty good. Alright, I'm going to call it here. Next time, we'll head to Euphrates II and take control or command of the retaking of the planet. I don't know if they completely lost it to the Word Bearers and the Cult of the Final Dawn. By the way, there's a war afoot. But for now, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.